Shalom, family. Good to see you all here. Hope you're doing well. Just a reminder that the sale will begin the 24th at midnight and it will go on until Monday, the 27th. And this is for the new product that I just put out, the Chebe Growth Butter. And it will be available at 45% off. So just keep that in the back of your mind that at midnight you'll be able to get this product 45% off for 3 days. So I have them ready and made already, and I can get them in the mail right away. Now, just remember when it's the weekend, you have to, wait until it's the business day. But other than that, it will go out when it's supposed to. So, everybody, the president of FIFA has addressed the behavior of the Argentina team and fans and how unruly, and racist they were. And you'll hear what he says. I'm glad he addressed it because, in many circumstances, when we see racism, people will try to brush it under the rug, even people that should be dealing with it, because the people look just like them. They have a tendency of either avoiding it or not addressing it at all. Or if they do address it, they virtually do nothing to the offending party. So he does address it. He does even mention iShowSpeed and what happened to him, and so he is issuing out a punishment for them. And I really don't think they should ever be invited to another World Cup again. That's my opinion, because they already showed what they're all about. And from what I understand, they have done so many rotten things to other players with melanin, and just nasty, just straight up nasty, And there are people saying that they believe after the World Cup and watching the conduct of the Argentina people, they are now becoming the most hated nation in the world because of their racism. But they have been this way for hundreds of years, and it has gone unchecked. And who's going to really address them if everybody in the country looks just like them? It will never get addressed, you know? So I understand how they spiraled out of control. And remember, these are the offspring of the Nazis, okay, and colonizers. What a combination. A colonizer and a Nazi. Yeah, that says it all right there. So let's go ahead and get started. Ladies and gentlemen, okay, please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Thank you.
Profound disappointment that I feel compelled to speak about Argentina's conduct following the World Cup final. First, congratulations to Spain on a thoroughly deserved victory. But today, I must strongly criticize Argentina. You failed to register a single shot throughout regular time, committed repeated fouls, and after the final whistle, some of your players put opponents in chokeholds, executed wrestling-style takedowns. Such behavior has tarnished the dignity of a World Cup final. Even more disgraceful was what happened afterward. During the trophy ceremony, the entire team turned their backs and refused to watch Spain lift the World Cup. After the match, every player declined media interviews and walked straight off the pitch, openly violating the competition's post-match regulations. That was not merely disrespectful, it was a complete failure of sportsmanship. I understand the pain of losing a World Cup final, but pain is never an excuse for losing your composure. You were once champions yourselves. More than anyone, you should understand that the FIFA World Cup trophy belongs not only to those with exceptional skill, but also to those with true character. Those two Argentina fans who racially abused iShowSpeed are now banned for life from every FIFA competition. On top of that, the Argentine Football Association will be fined 2 million Swiss francs. The World Cup is built on fair competition, respect, and unity. But in two recent World Cup matches, iShowSpeed, an official FIFA content creator, was deliberately targeted with racist abuse. Honestly, I was heartbroken. After investigating the case, we've identified both people responsible, and I can promise you they'll never set foot inside another FIFA stadium again. This wasn't an isolated incident. In the recent Argentina versus Egypt match, Egypt head coach Hassan was also subjected to racist abuse from the stands. For years, I've pushed for stronger anti-racism policies because the World Cup belongs to everyone. Argentina has created some of the greatest moments in World Cup history, and that is exactly why its fans should be held to a higher standard. The moment anyone betrays the spirit of this game, we won't tolerate it, and we will never play favorites.
FIFA President Gianni Infantino has announced that the two Argentina fans involved in verbally abusing iShowSpeed have been permanently banned from all FIFA competitions. In addition, the Argentine Football Association will receive a fine of 2 million Swiss francs. The World Cup represents fair play, respect, and unity. However, during two recent
Okay, so as you can see, even the players were playing dirty out on the field. They were being all rough with the opposing team. They were grabbing them by the neck and just doing all kinds of things that are just straight up violations. I mean, come on now. You know you don't do that, but that's how Argentina played. And look, they went through all of that and still lost. You know, it just goes to show you, they are rotten behind people. And they don't realize they have left a very negative mark on themselves and on their country that will never be forgotten for years to come. They will always be criticized over their racism.
World Cup matches, iShowSpeed, an official FIFA content creator, became the target of unacceptable behavior from the crowd. The incident caused widespread disappointment, and after a detailed investigation, FIFA confirmed the identities of those responsible and decided they will never be allowed to enter another FIFA stadium. This was not the only troubling moment. During the Argentina versus Egypt match, Egypt head coach Hassan also faced inappropriate treatment from the stands. For years, Infantino has promoted stricter disciplinary measures because he believes the World Cup should be a place where everyone is respected. Argentina has produced some of the most unforgettable moments in World Cup history, which is why its supporters are expected to represent the game with greater responsibility. When anyone goes against the values of football, FIFA will take action.
I have decided to disqualify Argentina from taking part in the next FIFA World Cup. As FIFA president, I must give a full explanation to football fans all over the world. First, let us talk about the chaos after the final. Argentina did not have a single shot on target in 120 minutes. This was not just a defeat. Spain controlled them completely in every way, but they refused to accept the loss. Instead, they grabbed opponents by the neck and made sliding tackles like wrestlers. If this happened on a city street, the police would have stepped in to stop it right away. Second, their disrespect during the award ceremony. When Spain's captain Morata lifted the World Cup trophy, the whole Argentina team turned their backs. If you cannot show respect to the champions, why should others respect the trophy you won 4 years ago? Worst of all is the controversial banner after the semi-final. Argentina's players held up a banner with divisive slogans inside their changing room and shared photos online. FIFA is not a political stage. The World Cup is not a tool to push political ideas. You knew clearly this was a red line, yet you crossed it. Fines can be paid, but I will never accept such complete disregard for the rules. I know this decision will cause arguments across the globe. A national team acts as one unit. When they choose to act together as a group, they must face the results. Argentina can work hard to win back their place at the Copa America 2027, but the World Cup stage does not belong to those who show no respect for it.
Argentina is super racist, and this is the reason why everybody hates them, because Enzo Fernandez did his monkey face mocking celebration after scoring the game-tying goal in yesterday's semifinal game against England, and it got a lot of criticism online, even from his team club Chelsea, who first posted the celebration and then deleted it. And a lot of people are saying, you know, it's really bad sportsmanship, right? From just like a soccer football level, you're not supposed to mock your opponent like that. You're not supposed to mock the fans like that. You're not supposed to be disrespectful. So he might get fined. I'm hearing that he might get fined a decent amount of money.
You know, one thing I did meant to say, Samuel L. Jackson actually spoke out about Argentina's racism. But guess who was with Argentina and even had on their jersey? Mike Tyson. I could hardly believe it. Mike Tyson was cheering for Argentina and even was walking around at the World Cup with an Argentina shirt on. I am so through with him, it ain't even funny.
Money for doing the celebration, but also why give your opponents fuel and make this face and make it seem like, you know, you're being racist and calling the other team monkeys? Like, I just don't understand why you would do that. You're already super unlikable. Don't give the opponent more fuel to unlike you. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that this was racist or just bad sportsmanship?
Samuel L. Jackson called out Argentina for its history of racism as he discouraged World Cup fans from supporting Team Argentina in the tournament. Following Team Argentina's loss to Team Spain in the 2026 World Cup final, the 77-year-old acclaimed actor reshared a post directed at Argentina on his Instagram stories. By placing Stephen in the Argentina jersey, the post appeared to suggest that any black person who backed Argentina during the World Cup was essentially acting as an Uncle Tom.
You ever wonder why everybody says Argentinians are racist? Every day. Well, it's actually embedded in them through history. Let me show you. After the conquest of desert, in which the Argentine army killed, displaced, and imprisoned indigenous people across the Patagonia, in which historians called it a genocide and an ethnic cleansing, they went after the black population next. In 1778, roughly around 30% of Buenos Aires was black. I know, that kind of surprises me too. In 1887, about 1.8. Today, 0.37.
How is that possible?
That is not natural. Why do you think you never see a dark Argentinian, but in Latin America, you come across darker people and lighter people? Afro-Argentinians were purposely sent to the front lines of wars, forced into neighborhoods with no health care, infected with diseases, forced into interracial marriages to dilute the population, and then erased from the census entirely. They didn't consider them human anymore. A 1905 newspaper celebrated it. It said the African tree now produces white flowers. And then they opened the floodgates. Over 6 million Europeans were brought in between 1800s and mid-1900s. Steamship advertisements recruited Italians and Spaniards specifically to widen the country. And it worked. Argentina went from a 30% black population over to a 97% European population. And even today, most Argentinians genuinely believe they never participated in the slave trade. But it gets even darker. After World War II, up to 5,000 Nazi war criminals escaped to Argentina, the most of any country on earth. The president at the time, Juan Perón, secretly ordered escape routes to be built specifically for the Nazis.
What kind of shit is that?
Adolf Eichmann, the architect of the Holocaust, he lived freely in Buenos Aires for over a decade. Joseph Mengele, the angel of death of Auschwitz, infamous for human experimentation, lived there under his own name. A document with over 12,000 names of Nazis who escaped to Argentina were found there hidden. They didn't just accept Nazis, they recruited them, the same way they recruited Europeans about a generation before. Now fast forward to 2022's World Cup, and you hear all these racist chants being sung publicly by the Argentinian fans. Like for part 3, and I'll show you all the racist incidents that the Argentinian team participated in. And remember to follow if you enjoyed learning about history and culture in a modern way.
Yeah, I mean, I could understand that if you were raised by colonizers and Nazis, what do you expect them to be like, right? So anyway, y'all, well, the president did something. The man in the beginning that was bald, that was the president of FIFA. And, the bottom line is, I think I would be a little more satisfied is if they would have got security to bounce them all out of the stadium. I think that's what they should have done. They should have got in those stands, brought security, and got each and every one of them out. But other than that, they can't participate in the next World Cup. The ones that were messing with iShowSpeed, they are banned from ever entering a FIFA stadium again. So they can never go to a soccer game again. And I mean, I guess it's a start, but yeah, that's the only thing I wish they would have done. I wish they would have escorted people out of the stadium. If you see what they're doing, they're being racist, they're being unruly, they're throwing things, because they were throwing things at him and everything. They should have been ejected from the stadium. I don't understand why they allowed them to stay. One thing I know about racists, once they can get away with one thing, they just going to go over the top from that point on. It is no point in trying to work with people like that at all. And you see, they were bad house guests. They should have kept their asses at home. So, ladies and gentlemen, all right. Leslyn Lacey, thank you for the 400 gems, Eagle. Brian in 90, thank you for the 1,000 gems and cheers. At 360 Degrees of Peace, thank you for the 200 gems, Flow State. One of Many Ancestral Shadows, thank you for the 10 gems, Gold Coin. Elizabeth 48, thank you for the 1,000 gems, Goat Trophy. One of Many Ancestral Shadows, thank you for the 750 gems, Let 'em Cook. James Mitchell, thank you for the 440 gems, UNC Alert. And okay, I think these are from the earlier, but that's okay. I mean, all right, Seamus Yasharella, thank you for the 10 gems, Gold Coin. Lisa Parker, thank you for the 10 gems, Floating Heart. All right. Lisa Parker, thank you for the 2 gems, 100. Tippy W 1870, thank you for the 2 gems, Silver Star. And KJ 6734, thank you for the 200 gems, Flow State. And Tony Tolbert 6050, thank you for the 200 gems, Flow State. Thank you so much, everybody, for your support for my channel. I deeply appreciate it. And man, if I see Argentina again, it will be way too soon as far as I'm concerned. Tethers, Doki outside. Tethers, Dookie outside. Okay. Oh man, you must have been You must have been watching them videos with those Nigerians, huh? Thank you for the 10 gems, a gold coin. Thank you so much. Wow. Yeah. I mean, all money is not good money. I understand, Phyllis. Yeah, what I think, like I said, they should have took some kind of action. I think that would have gave a much stronger statement than saying something about the incident after the fact. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your support. Don't forget about tomorrow's sale for the Chebe growth butter. And I will see you on my next live. Shalom, family.